Hello, everyone. This is Silk. We are doing Operation. My marker here. We are doing Operation Thunderball. Japan turned 12.4, and just wanted to kind of get fired up and get going here. It's a little bit later than I anticipated. We're going to start with our technology rolls. We only have really one technology to finish. We're hoping for improved factories here. This has by far been one of my best Japanese tech programs I've ever seen. So we're just going to try to get that one finished. We're going to pick up radar and long-range aircraft as things that might help us late. We don't really particularly anticipate it. We rolled a miss on radar. We unfortunately rolled a miss on approved factories, but we did get a hit on long-range aircraft. I think it was an 8. And so we will go ahead and advance that as we get into our purchases. So you guys are gonna see this little red item down here. So diplomacy is a bit of a key factor in global war games, specifically with the Soviets. You're gonna see a lot of back and forth kind of negotiations. In this particular case, you guys aren't really seeing those negotiations because they're just happening over some text messages between the various players. But absolutely, the Soviets have been repeatedly kind of negotiating with different sides, trying to kind of make things work for them. And in my particular case, when I had reached out to Bruce for discuss the non-aggression pact, we had kind of reached terms. And unfortunately for me and him, when I rolled my heavy armor and advanced battleships last turn, I entirely wiped out my build and built a whole new build queue, and in the process, entirely forgot that I owed him a unit. So, as a apology to him for that, because I do absolutely owe him a unit for that deal we had made earlier, and as kind of paying a bit of a late fee, I'm sending him something a lot nicer than what was originally in the intention. So, Japan will be lend-leasing one medium tank to the Soviet Union. Went ahead and colored it slightly differently and kind of have it labeled. So I'm gonna keep track of it. We'll see what Bruce does with this thing. So separate from that, we're gonna get some boats on the board. We are absolutely duking it out with the Americans for Kido Butai and Big Blue Fleet. Currently, we are going to be ahead, fortunately for us, due to our tech program. We do have heavy battleships on the board, and they don't. So it's going to definitely help us. We do not have Kido Butai this turn, so our battleships are normally still the full price, but we do get the -1 for improved construction. So these 3 battleships that we're finishing, those are those 3 there at stage 2, those are 5 each. And our heavy battleships, one of which is getting advanced from stage 1 to stage 2, and then a new one is getting placed on stage 1. And then the last thing we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and finish this heavy cruiser. It's on stage 2, so we're going to drop four boats this turn. So that is 15 and 12 is 27, plus 4 is 31 IPP. We then get 2 Marines for 8. That gets us to 39. Our 2 heavy armor is 14. If we add the 6 for our lend-lease, that's 20. So we get to 39 plus 20 is 59, and then an artillery and 2 infantry is 10, so that gets us to our 69 IPP. So there's our purchases. Let's go ahead and take a look at what we're going to do for combat moves. We've got a few things here. One of the things I had to do was we're going to do a naval invasion here. And it slowed things down a little bit because I had to wait to get a answer as to whether they wanted to try to fight me or not. These 2 light cruisers are going to leave from the sea zone between West Timor and the Celebes. The transport's going to go with them. It's going to grab one of the infantry off of West Timor and one of the Marines off of Borneo. And it's going to slide in here and drop that infantry and that Marine off in Dutch West Guinea. The destroyer here is going to pick up 1 Marine that's off of Borneo, and he's going to go there as well, but he's actually fighting the screening force, so I don't believe that Marine gets to land. I think he's still stuck there. And then let's go ahead and grab our submarines here. The submarine that is in that same sea zone, that Celebes, the West Timor sea zone, going to go ahead and come over here to the sea zone just north of Australia, Northern Australia and Queensland. I'm not sure what that's designated, but it's going to go on raiding, and the submarine from P61 is going to join it. So I do have 2 submarines raiding in that sea zone just north of Australia there. In the main group amongst P59 there, I've got a whole lot of ships. So out of the what I kind of considered my boom boom fleet, that fleet marker is going to kind of get split up. Two of the heavy cruisers are going to be leaving P-59, and they're going to come over to that same sea zone where my two submarines are, and they're going to be conducting a support from an amphib attack. We're going to be attacking Queensland here. The rest, oh no, and then also a dive bomber and a light carrier will be leaving P-59 and going into that same sea zone with the two heavy cruisers. And the dive bomber will be attacking that infantry in Queensland. Then from that fleet that's in there, we're going to split off 3 transports from P-59. Those transports are going to go to the same sea zone above Australia, and they are going to take an infantry, 2 marines, nope, infantry, 1 marine, 3 artillery. And when they enter the sea zone between Celebes and West Timor, they're going to grab that last infantry that's in Celebes. So I will have a total of 2 infantry and 1 marine, 3 artillery, all going into Queensland, which is why we have the 2 bombards coming from the heavy cruisers there, as well as the tactical bomber. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4, yeah, the tactical bomber. So probably going to kill that militia without too much trouble. And then the battle cruiser actually is also going to join that fleet. Go ahead and I may split my. Yeah, I think I'm going to split my fleet. I think I'm going to split my fleet markers here. So effectively, that's a fleet marker, and in that should be 1 more destroyer. So we will use this destroyer here. So the destroyer in P-59 will take 1 of the marines off of Sumatra. He will come to the same sea zone, and he will drop off 1 marine. So we're gonna re-grab this 6th, yeah. So this 6th fleet marker. So in that fleet, I have a light carrier, which will have a tactical bomber on it at the end of the turn, a battle cruiser, 2 heavy cruisers, a destroyer, 2, 3, 4, and then it will have the tactical bomber sitting on it, and inside the same sea zone there are also 2 submarines raiding. So that is that marker. And then separately, with my other fleet marker here, is going to go 1 to in between Celebes, 1 by the Philippines, and 1 into that same sea zone north of Dutch New Guinea. And that sea zone is going to have 2 fleet carriers, 2 heavy cruisers. This transport is not there. And 2 light cruisers and a destroyer. Oh, those guys are in P-41. I should have saved that earlier. Right, we got that. Am I missing anything else? He's there, there. But is he doing that? All right, and this destroyer. So because of the mechanics of this fight here, we're actually conducting a kind of a screening fight. It's not going to really matter because of the way it worked, but a fighter detached with that destroyer, with the 2 light cruisers and 1 of the heavy cruisers, all kind of detached to suppress these submarines to make sure they would not mess with my amphib attack, and then I have a single cruiser who's going to be bombarding, and then I've got 4 planes, 3 fighters, and 1 dive bomber. They're all going to be participating to kill this one lone militia here in Dutch New Guinea. I think we'll win that without probably too much trouble. So in this case, we are going to be sharing a sea zone with a German, or not German, British submarine and a British coastal. It covers that. Now we got to deal with these other submarines. One of our destroyers from P50, I believe it is. Yeah, P50. It's going to travel up to the sea zone that has Okinawa in it, and a seaplane will come off of Okinawa, and it will combat air patrol very briefly this submarine, and that destroyer will pair with it to try to kill the British submarine off of Okinawa. Meanwhile, this fighter here that's in P50 on the carrier is going to do the same maneuver. It's going to use combat air patrol to go after this coastal submarine, and one of the destroyers that it's in P50 is going to go with it. I really do want to kill that guy. Then that leaves that. Those are non-combat movements. Over here in Maharashtra, the infantry from Delhi will come into Maharashtra. The medium armor will move from southern India to Maharashtra, and the heavy armor will rumble in from Maharashtra. So we've got an infantry, a medium armor, and a heavy armor, all going to go kill that militia. Meanwhile, 1 infantry from Benares will go into Punjab just to grab that. It's not worth any money, but it does limit the FEC just a little bit. Those are all non-coms. Those are non-coms. Those are non-coms. Those are non-coms. So I believe that is... Oh, I designate my rating. These 2 coastal subs, I believe, also are going to go on rating. Just on the off chance, we'll go ahead. So the 2 coastal subs that are in P59 will move to P50 here, and they will go rating. As we try to hit the Anzac, make sure we take the $2 away from them, is the hope. And that's all non-combat. That's there. So, okay. And just as a reminder, we do have 4 planes in this fight here. 3 fighters and 1 tactical. Yeah. So let's go ahead and see what we got here. We'll start with the rating, because that's pretty easy. Red is always the attacker. Black is the defender. We'll start with the big subs over here. Just goes faster. Got 2 subs rating in the sea zone above Queensland there. So that's even, I believe, because he should have radar. Yes? Yes. So that is no damage from the first sub. Second sub. No damage from the second sub. Now we got to move to our coastals. This one we are actually fighting below him, so a big number. So that is a 2. Hope that can kind of get seen. Fortunately, even though dice might look cocked in Tabletop Simulator, it will generate a result for you. So that's me getting a 2, him getting a 5. So that is a null result. And now we'll do our last roll here. Looks like Anzac's going to keep its money. It does. No rating damage to Anzac at all with 4 submarines. That was pretty terrible. So let's go ahead and try to see if we can kill some submarines. On this coastal sub here, I've got a fighter at a 6. I've got a destroyer at a 4. This is for the coastal sub in P50. Nothing. 8 and a 6. It gets to shoot back at a 2 at my destroyer. And almost had it. It's a 7. So nothing there other than the fact that he still has a coastal alive. That's certainly a frustration. We're going to do the same thing up here, only it's a little worse because it's a seaplane at 3 and a destroyer at 4. So we try to kill his submarine. 11 and 10 ain't going to do it. And he gets to shoot back at a 3 with a real sub. And nope, 7 misses. So, the fact that all his subs are still alive, And no rating. This is not a great start for Japanese this turn. We'll go ahead and do his submarines. His submarine submerged, so there's no combat there. I do have one bombard from a heavy cruiser. Yep. So one bombard from a heavy cruiser, add a 2. Try to kill this militia. It's gonna be a 1, and it's a 1. So we did it. So we do kill his militia, and we take New Guinea without incident. So that is +1 for Japan, -1 for Great Britain. We then have a fight into Queensland. We have, I believe, 3 bombards. Yes, so I've got a 3 with my battlecruiser, and I have 2 2s with my heavy cruisers. Nothing. 10, 5, 10. We then have, we'll try to kill him with my plane here at a 6. Which it hits with a 5. And then he has a roll back. Add a 2. See if he kills my marine. He does not. Okay, so Queensland falls. And that type bomber will land back on the light carrier. Try to get that going. That fighter will end up landing back on this light carrier. All right. That's a non-com. All right. So last fight. I've got a infantry. Let's see. So we'll do a infantry at 2 with the teal die. We'll do a medium armor at 6 with the blue die, and a heavy armor at an 8 with the red die. 1 hit from the heavy armor, so that will kill us a militia there. And that militia will get to shoot back, also add a 2. And he hits! That's a bummer. I didn't know things were going to go wrong somewhere. They always kind of inevitably do if you roll enough dice. You're not going to win all your fights. But we do take Maharashtra. That should be the last dollar of the FEC there. So the FEC goes down to 0. Japan gains another dollar. Goes to 60. And now we have some combat, non-combat movements. So depending on where I had put a note in that I had moved these 3 torpedo boat destroyers. They had been in 111 last turn. Either way, they're just going to P41. So I had marked that last turn that they'd be in P41. So if you didn't have them in P41 last turn, they're there now. And then both battleships are going to leave P50 and join them. And the light carrier is going to leave P50 and join them. And then the fighter that is coming off of a map in P50 is actually going to land in Siam, because that's a range 1 move. And the tactical bomber that was in Calcutta is going to come across. So it's Isle of it, Burma, and Tonkin, and then land on the light carrier that's with the battleships. Meanwhile, I've got a couple of transports that are going to move. This late remaining transport that is in P59 is going to grab an artillery and a marine. And it's just going to go to P50 and then up to the, I don't remember what P that is, but it's the one off of Kwangtung, where all the battleships are. And they're just going to drop these 2 guys off in Kwangtung. And it'll go ahead and go into port in Kwangtung, I think. I got enough stuff there. It will not go into port. If he wants to attack me there, he's welcome to do so. Meanwhile, the transport that is in Tokyo will pick up the infantry and the artillery that are in Kyushu, and it'll go to the same location and hang out with the 2 battleships, the carrier and the 3 torpedo boat destroyers, and drop off an infantry and a artillery into Kwangtung. So I'll have to make sure we keep the KMT on us there. And this destroyer will leave Sumatra, and it will go to, I believe that's P40, is it? And then P32, and then P15 off of Tokyo Bay. It'll pick up an infantry. It'll come over to P14. It's going to drop off that Marine. Sorry, he doesn't pick up an infantry, of course. He picks up a Marine that was in Kyushu. And he's going to go ahead and go into port in Rihi, like so. Yeah, they're going to attack me either way. He will not go into port. We'll leave him in P14 there. Oh, that's why. Nope, I changed my mind a 3rd time. He will go into port. The seaplane will come off of map and go back into the air base there. Two coastals rated. This transport that's in P50 will grab both Marines that are in Sarawak, and he'll go all the way up to P14 to Rihi. Right, he gets to do that 1, 2, 3, yeah, because he has the couple of different ports to use to do that. So we will drop off 2 Marines. Will go from Sarawak to Rihi via a transport. And what else we got? The artillery will move to Benares from Bengal. The light armor will move from Burma to Bengal. The Marine will move from Burma to Bengal. I'll go ahead and keep him there. Out of Kwangtung, 1 artillery will rail from Kwangtung to Shenxi. The artillery that is in Suyan will move to Shenxi. The medium armor that is Suyan will move to Szechuan. And all of the troops that are left in, I'm calling it Northern Yunnan, but I think the real name is one of the, like, Sukyang or something in that neighborhood. But they are all going to go to Szechuan. So we will have in Szechuan 3 infantry, 1 motorized, a mountain, and 2 medium armor. The heavy armor will go from Rihi down to Hopei. And I believe I have moved just about every unit I own. Those guys are all going to stay. I guess he'll stay in Kyushu. That's fine. And that's, oh yeah, those guys all landed. So we'll do a unit recap of what's in my fleets, so everybody can kind of hopefully see what's where. And this guy doesn't really need a marker anymore now that he's just kind of by himself. Actually, use that marker for these guys. Just as ease of reference. As they may start getting used that way. Alright. So let's get ourselves unit recap for everybody. Let's place our units first, and then we'll do a unit recap. So collect income, we are at 60. We still have the 14 bonus, so that takes us to 74. We deliver our Lend-Lease to the Soviets of medium armor. It goes right across the channel through Primorsky Krai. Hopefully they enjoy that. We're going to place our 2 infantry and a artillery in Honshu. We are going to place one Marine in Kyushu, go with the Marine that's there. We're going to place one Marine in Tokyo. Our boats are going to start coming along here, so well, let's grab the armor. All right. So one heavy armor goes in Calcutta. One heavy armor goes in Rihi. Amongst our boats, all of these aren't, well, I guess one of them is, because he gets placed. The rest of these are actually boats that are getting advanced here. So this heavy cruiser gets finished. These 3 battleships get finished. All of them advance. This heavy battleship goes to stage 2. A new heavy battleship gets placed at stage 1. And the 3 battleships and the heavy cruiser are all placed in port in Tokyo. All right, so let's do a unit recap. Let's just kind of try to do the boats. That's always the hardest thing. So in Tokyo, we've got 3 battleships and 1 heavy cruiser. Sea zone off of Okinawa, I've got a single destroyer. In Rihi, I've got a destroyer and a transport in port. In what is this, P-41, I've got 2 battleships, 3 torpedo boat destroyers, a light carrier, a tactical on the carrier, and 2 transports. In P-50, I have 2 coastal submarines and a single destroyer. In the sea zone just off of Queensland in northern Australia, I have 2 submarines, 3 transports, a destroyer, 2 heavy cruisers, a battle cruiser, a light cruiser, and a tactical. In the sea zone just north of In the sea zone just north of New Guinea, I have 2 fleet carriers, a light carrier, 2 heavy cruisers, 2 light cruisers, a destroyer, which is carrying a marine, 4 fighters, 1 dive bomber, 1 tactical, sorry, and 1 transport. On Sumatra, I've got a single marine. On Java, I have a single marine. In Kwangtung, I have 2 militia, 6 infantry, 2 marines, 5 artillery. In Szechuan, I've got 3 infantry, 1 mountain, 2 medium armor, and a motorized. In Shenxi, I have 2 artillery. In Hopei, I have 1 heavy armor. In Rihi, I have 3 marines and a heavy armor. And that should be everything. We'll see what Commonwealth does in America, and we'll see you again around turn 13. Everybody have a great day.